what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Morgan, and if you're a returning subscriber, hey, how are y'all? I know I've been so MIA lately. I haven't been on here in almost 2 months, I think. I've been super busy. I moved out of my parents' house into my own house with some friends and have just been trying to get settled in, unpacking, and work's just been kind of crazy, so I haven't had the time to sit down and film for you guys, but I am now. So thank you guys for being patient. And in today's video, as you can see, this crazy rhinestone look, I'm doing a Euphoria inspired makeup look. I'll put the picture right here. It's Alexa Demi. This is a picture I got inspired by. I don't know why it took me a year to watch Euphoria, but I'm literally obsessed with it. And I ordered these rhinestones on Amazon, and I was like, I have to do a makeup look with it, even though it's so not practical. Obviously, like, where would I wear this? But it was super fun. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. If you're interested in seeing how I created this look, maybe for Halloween when it's coming up, or just for fun, I don't really know, then just keep on watching. And before you guys leave though, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it. It'll really help me out, and subscribe to my channel before you guys leave. And without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so I went ahead and did one eye off camera just so this video isn't a million years long. And I am going to show you guys what I did on this eye. So first things first, I prime my eye with some concealer. I'm using the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Concealer in L5. Just gonna put that all over my lid. I'm doing my eyes first just because it's very like a little more difficult, so I don't want to do my whole base and then go in with my eyes and screw it up, and then, you know, it's easier to do eyes and then kind of clean up with your base makeup. So, and this could turn into a freaking disaster, so you're just along for the ride with me. All right, now that the base is on, I'm just gonna set it a little bit. I'm gonna use the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Powder in Light. I'm just gonna lightly dust that on the lid just to set that concealer for our base. All right, and then we are gonna go in with our shadow. So I'm gonna be using the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. Actually, I haven't used this yet. I just started using it in today's video, so I'm very excited. It looks like this. It's very pretty. I'm gonna go in with the shade Suntan, and we're just gonna kind of brush that on my brow bone. Pretty much focusing on the brow bone. I'm not really bringing it on the lid at all. So I'm using the e.l.f. J3 brush from the e.l.f. and J Kissa collab. So I'm just gonna focus that up here. These shadows are definitely very pigmented. And I'm bringing it pretty far out because, as you could see in the picture, it comes really far out. You can be a little sloppy with it just because, like I said, we can clean it up with the base makeup or face base makeup, and then also we're gonna be cleaning it up with a cut crease kind of moment. So if you don't get the most perfect like roundedness right there, it's not a big deal. Do you feel me? I'm bringing it pretty far into the lid, like inner corner as well. And then I'm gonna take this brush, wait, no, not that one, the J1 brush, and I'm actually gonna dip into a different palette. This is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna use this shade right here, Sandy Bum. All these names kind of like relate to each other, Suntan and Sandy Bum. It's like a brown color, it's light brown, so I'm just gonna get a little bit of that with my brush and focus that a little bit lower than this, kind of to create more of a definition on like my brow bone, I guess if that makes sense. Kind of cutting it, but not cutting it super like perfect, I guess. Just laying down a darker color to give some more dimension. Lightly dusting. I'm just gonna pick up that same first brush and use it bare and just kind of blend those together. And then I'm gonna take this more pointed brush and dip into this shade right here, Magma, and then also dip into that Sandy Bum from the e.l.f. palette and just kind of mix the two and then really lightly kind of create a little bit more definition as well. I'm barely creating any pressure on this. And then going in that first brush again, I'm going to dip in lightly to suntan. Blend. Okay, and that's kind of like the base of it. And now we're going to go in with concealer and kind of cut the crease. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Pat McGrath one again and just put it on the back of my hand like this, just so I can easily dip into it with a brush. I don't like to go in it directly in my eye. I think it's easier to pick up with a brush on the back of your hand and kind of start little by little and work your way up. So I'm going to take this Wet n Wild Bretman Rock Brush. I'm not sure what this is called, but it looks like this, like a rounded edge. And we're going to get a little bit of that concealer and start just slowly cut the crease. This is my harder eye too, so I'm really going to take my time. Obviously, I'll speed it up, but yeah, go at your own pace. Cutting crease is usually pretty hard, so totally go at your own speed. But what I usually start by doing is I just kind of lay a little bit on the lid, and then you look up, and you see how it kind of went a little bit higher where my actual crease is. That's kind of where you want to keep the line. If you can see on this side, like my crease is actually right there, but I go above it. So you just kind of want to lay a little bit and then look up, and you can kind of go off that line. Kind of create your own crease shape however you want to do it, but I started further in and I kind of go up, and you can kind of see that. So everyone has different eye shapes, so you kind of have to play with what works for you and what works for your eye shape and all that jazz. So and then as you can see, I'm starting to slowly bring it down and dip it and kind of create like a almost a winged out look, but with concealer. And kind of following like my bottom lash line, so kind of that same angle. Okay, once you kind of have the concealer laid down and everything, and you kind of have the shape that you like, then we're gonna go in and set it with the shadow. So I'm gonna first go in with this shade right here. It's called Canvas, and it's like a very light, like off-white, kind of really neutral, plain color. So I'm gonna set with that, just kind of pushing it onto the lid. You don't want to swipe because you don't want to lift up any of that concealer. Just press it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this color called Beach. It's like a little bit more of a peachy tan, and I'm going to mix it with that same color Canvas just to give it a little bit more of like a skin-like color, not as like white. Does that make sense? So it's not as like stark white. So I would say the shadow is pretty much all laid down. So now we're gonna go in. I did a little really thin line of eyeliner because she has like a little bit of eyeliner on in the photo. Nothing crazy though. I don't think it's not winged out or anything. It's just like a very thin eyeliner that she has like really full like winged lashes, so we'll do those. But let's go ahead and do this eye of eyeliner, and I'm just using the NYX Epic Ink liner in black. So this will probably take me a minute because this eye, like I said, is so much harder. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, honestly, I think this is as good as it's gonna get. Once we add lashes, I don't think it'll be that noticeable that it's that uneven, so let's keep on going, shall we? Oh, one more eye thing, actually. I'm gonna tight line the top, my top lid really quickly, just to make sure that when I put on lashes, the lashes will blend seamlessly, you know, with the eyeliner and everything, so. This is the MAC Feline Kohl eyeliner. I don't know about anybody else, but putting on or tight lining your eyes with contacts is quite literally nearly impossible without popping them out. If you know, you know. Contacts, people. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the face. And obviously we're doing all these like crystals and stuff, but that'll be last just because obviously we're not going to glue them on and then do foundation. That doesn't make sense. So first things first, let's jump into primer. I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I freaking love this primer. I used it for my black owned beauty brand video and I have not stopped using it. I think I've used like maybe one other primer since. I don't know what it is, I just love the stuff. Also, don't mind my face being extremely pale compared to my body. Self-tanning life, you know. So rub this all over and then we will go into foundation, which actually, let me wet my little guy. And it back. I think I'm gonna use, actually I think I might mix two. I think I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation in the shade Soft Beige, and then I think I might mix it with a little bit of my Infallible Pro Glow L'Oreal foundation in the shade Natural Buff. Let's go ahead and do a few little swipey swipes. This guy. And we'll blend this. Sorry, I keep looking back that way. I don't have a mirror right in front of me. I have to look right here. I just moved into a new house, so I'm trying to figure out my recording setup still, so bear with me. All right, let's go ahead and blend. It's crazy how much better a look can look, well, in my opinion, once you add foundation. Like, the eyes were looking a little crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm already so excited to glue on these crystals. I'm so excited. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some concealer. I'm gonna do a little bit of my pat just in the inner corners, just to cover up some darkness. And then probably on the nose. Then I'm gonna use a different one. I'm gonna use this Kosas one. So we're gonna do that and then blend. Blend this down. Gives a little bit more of a chiseled, defined look. Then we'll go in with the eyes. Gotta be careful around here just so we don't mess up any of the eyeshadow. Before I set any of the concealer, I'm really quickly gonna go in with some cream bronzer. So I'm gonna grab my Milk Makeup stick in the shade Baked, and I'm just gonna grab this e.l.f. brush, the e.l.f. airbrush blender. It's like a little angled, kind of thicker, and just brush on here. And we're just gonna push into, stamp into the cheekbones. Oh my gosh, I look so ghostly right now, but don't worry. We will fix it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take my blender and kind of blend one last time. Blend out the under eyes. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and set the whole face. I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye with some Pat McGrath powder, and then also go with my NYX HD finishing powder, the banana powder. I'm gonna do that for my under eyes. Now I'm gonna set my whole face with my Beauty Bakery flower powder, I guess, setting powder. in the shade Oat Translucent. I'm just gonna take my Hourglass brush, the fluffy side, and dust that all over. Now my whole face is set. Let's go in with some bronzer. So for bronzer, I think I'm gonna do something a little bit on the warmer side because it looks pretty warm in this photo. I'll probably go in with MAC Give Me Sun. I'm gonna go in with this brush. This is it's a Sonia Kasha. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's got like a pretty tapered tip. Pretty good for like precision. I'm gonna really lightly kind of bake under here and make it look a little bit more precise. I'm gonna grab my Huda Beauty baking powder in the shade Banana Bread and my Tati Blendiful, and I'm just gonna stamp some right under the cheekbones just to clean up any of the harsh bronzing edges. Then pretty much wipe it off. I'm gonna really lightly contour my nose too, I think. Just like a hint. So I'm gonna use my Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Tantastic just because it's a little more neutral, not as warm. I don't want to use like too warm of a contour on my nose. All right, I'm gonna use some powder again to clean this up. I'm gonna do a little bit. Okay, let's move on to blush. So it kind of looks like she has a very peachy, warm tone blush on. So we are going to use, let's see, I might mix a couple. Why not? I think I'm gonna use a little bit. This is all Shatter, but my Burt's Bees Bare Peach blush, I might use a little bit and then go over it with maybe some of the Patrick Ta Do We Know Her duo, but just the powder. So we'll see. I'm gonna start with the Bare Peach and see how we feel about that by itself. But I can't lift it up because it's all shattered. So sorry. Just gonna use this angled brush. I'm gonna focus it kind of on the high points of my cheeks so it really gives me that lifted effect. I feel like that's probably fine, but just for shits and gigs, let's add a little bit of this guy, shall we? Oh yeah. Yay. Okay, next will be some highlight. Actually, let's do my brows first. I'm gonna do my brows and then we'll do highlight because I want to highlight my brow bone, but I want to fill in my brows first. We'll go ahead and do brows. I'm gonna grab this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. Brush these bad boys up. We'll go ahead and start filling them in. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Glossier Brow Flick and kind of flick on some of the edge or the end pieces. All right, I filled in my brows, kind of highlight them. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my Patrick Ta brow wax and kind of wax them up a little bit so they look a little bit more feathery and like natural, because that's kind of how they look in that photo. So I'm gonna take just some spray and spray it in there, and then a spoolie, and then I'll just brush them upwards, up and outwards kind of. Kind of like that. And then I am gonna use a little bit of my e.l.f. my e.l.f. Wow Brow. Oh my god. I'm going to use a little bit of my e.l.f. Wow Brow setting brow gel stuff on top. Just give them a little bit more of a fuller look as well. Do that, and now let's go in with highlight. I'm actually going to use my, it's been a minute, but I'm going to use my Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold, just because it's, like I said, that picture, she has a lot of like warm tones and like golds, and it's kind of like the vibe, so I want to go with like a goldish undertone highlight. So I'm going to grab just a brush. This is the Bretman Rock, another brush, I don't know what it's called, it looks like this, and we're going to go in there and highlight the high points of the face. I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take this little Morphe M508 brush and use that to highlight my brow bone. Ooh, it's looking so good. And then let's go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. Let me see the picture really quick. Looks like she just kind of has like the base color that I did underneath, so I'm just gonna take this like pencil brush and go in with that suntan color, that first one we used, and focus that close on the lash line, lower lash line. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if the lower lash line extends to kind of like follow that line or not, but I think I'm gonna ever so lightly bring it out a little bit just to kind of go parallel with that winged outline, if that makes any sort of sense. Like so subtle. I'm taking this just to kind of extend that one line to make it fade a little bit more naturally. I think the base is all done. Honestly, all that's left is I need to do my lips, and we'll do the lashes and the crystals. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spray the face. I'm gonna use my Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. I've been loving this lately. It's just so like refreshing, but also gives you a very natural kind of dewy finish, and that's what I want, like a kind of subtle glow with this look. So I'm gonna spray this. Drench my face. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and glued on some eyelashes, and I did this little curly Q thingy majigger. I realized I did them wrong on each side, but whatever, it took me forever to do, so I'm not gonna redo it. But for the lashes, pretty much what I did is I took some Demi Ardell lashes and I cut the end, the outside, into 3 parts and just kind of glued the outside and did some mascara instead of doing like a whole strip, because I really wanted to focus the outside area with the lashes and like brush my lashes out to make it more of like a blown out effect, kind of to go with this eye look, if that makes sense. So last thing for makeup, we're gonna do some lips, and then we're gonna start gluing on the crystals, which will take forever, but if you've made it this far, you might as well stick it to the end. So for lips, I'm gonna do a couple of combinations. I'm gonna start out using this e.l.f. Retro Paradise lip liner in the shade, what is it called? Nude 02, I guess is what it's called. I'm gonna kind of overline my lips a little bit. I'm also gonna use a little bit, I'm actually gonna use this dark brown lip liner color, also an e.l.f. Retro Paradise liner in the shade Nude 3. It's more brown. I'm just gonna focus that right on the, right here and up here. And then I'm gonna fill it in with another e.l.f. liner. I really like all these lip liners. They are such good colors. This is the e.l.f. One in the shade Nude 1. So, all nudes. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury powder and just kind of cut off, you'll see. I'm gonna take a brush and kind of cut off the edges a little bit just to like make it look a little more pouty. Like that. And then I'm gonna take the lipstick Peach Sock by MAC, because it's like a good peachy color. She has like kind of a peach lip going on. I'm gonna focus that in the center of the lips. I'm gonna grab this NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. Do some gloss. The prettiest gloss color. And then ow, frick. I just got my nail caught in this. I'm gonna take a little bit of this palette, this Hourglass face palette, and go into these shades and just give my face a little bit extra of a glow. Just like that. Okay, now it is time for the crystals, and this is gonna take a minute. So I know this video is already pretty long. I'm gonna do my best to do this pretty quickly, and I'll fast forward it obviously as well, but I'm gonna be using these little crystals. I have a bunch right here. I got them from Amazon. Obviously I'll link it all below for you guys. There's a good assortment on here, like a couple of different colors, a couple plain like clear or whatever crystals. So I think I'm just gonna play with it and do whatever I feel. It's kind of hard to see exactly what colors she used, but I'm gonna do my best. So yeah, I guess I will go ahead and get started and just keep on watching, guys. Bring you guys a little bit closer. I'm gonna start with the ones under the lash line, so. Okay, I finished. I did the top of the eyebrow. I'm gonna start doing some in the hair, and then depending on how I'm feeling, I might add the layers in the eyelids too. There's one on top and on the lid, so we'll see. But I'm gonna do the hair stuff and just do a bunch of random cute little colors. Okay guys, sorry, my camera died, or the battery died, and then I plugged it in, and then I just kind of went ahead and started gluing all these crystals everywhere. Added them like on my hair, on the side of my face, added some more on my eyelids. Literally just kind of played with it and glued whatever colors wherever. There was no like method to the madness. I just did random things everywhere. But I had so much fun creating this look. It's so cute, makes me feel like very like bougie, badass, you know, girl power, love it. I'm probably gonna take it all off right now. But yeah, I had so much fun with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was probably a super long tutorial, so if you made it till the end, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!